I will say this. I'm sure I'm not the most fairest level to be hypercritical, right? Being on both sides of the curtain and running my own shows and seeing all that, I'm going to be a little more hypercritical and see it than the casual guy walking in. But the fact that you guys are in the media, you're used to seeing and interviewing and playing things, and you guys saw it and felt it too. I'm actually glad I got to answer last, because I was like, am I going to be a little too harsh? Yeah. And I didn't want to be harsh. And like, you guys come out going swinging, man. You got right fists left and right.
Hey, welcome back to Tabletop Throwdown, the podcast where we talk to people in the tabletop industry about cool things like board games and tabletop games and card games and all that fun stuff. Let me first introduce our current hosts. We've got Mark Streed.
Hey, how's it going?
We've got Sean Brown, Mr. B himself. And then from last year, coming back into the fold, we've got Mark Julian and Dan Hinkin. Gentlemen, it's like a Doctor Who episode where like all the different doctors are meeting. It's weird. Like, what's going on here?
Is it similar to the doppelganger? When you meet your doppelganger, you have to kill it. When all the co-hosts unite together, is it like an Avengers Assemble, or do we have to kill them like doppelgangers?
No, it's like Avengers Assemble. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mark's got Captain America's shield. What are you talking about? Like,
hey, I just want to make sure, if I wasn't sure if we were killing or hugging. So we're hugging. We're good. Okay.
There's not a lot of multiversal strands going off, and after doing all of this. So.
Absolutely.
So before we dive too far in, let's take a quick word from our sponsor.
Darkenhaven truly is designed to be a game master's dream. The box itself weighs about 11 pounds. It has a tremendous amount of material, from art handouts that show locations in the city, to NPC portraits for all kinds of people that they will encounter, to special item and magic item cards that you can give out to your players, to beautiful lore and wondrous material that you will truly enjoy the read. I believe Darkenhaven is spectacular, and you've got to see the maps. You've got to see the maps.
Okay, we're back. So another distinction about this motley assortment tonight. Everyone present went to Origins Gamefair except for one person, and that is me.
Yeah, dude.
Rookie.
Miss it.
You should have been there.
It's my first one I've missed in years. I'm really sad. I wanted to hear Star Wars played on a tuba at Schmitty's while eating sausage. I missed that.
Fair.
That's a big stop for you then.
I mean, I try to go to Schmitty's, and I try to go to Moy's every year I go.
Is Moy's the cool bookstore with coffee?
No, Moy's is the amazing Chinese restaurant.
Yes.
Where you go and it's like you're being fed by your grandmother.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is nothing short of amazing. But anyway, I did not go this year because I was busy babysitting our new Tabletop YouTube channel.
Yeah. Tabletop YouTube channel.
You can't leave an infant at home alone by itself. It will just be all over the internet. No
I know.
views.
I mean, it's not even a month old at this point.
Starts running rampant.
Right. Tear shit up. It's going to be not good.
Starts posting everywhere.
And a sub to all these weird channels. It was crazy.
Yeah, really bizarre.
It was nuts.
All right. Well, let's talk about Origins, shall we? I guess Mark and Dan, let's start with you guys because you haven't been on the show for a while.
Yeah. I think one of the coolest things that we got to do is pretty much right when we got there is we got a chance to take a look at AllPlay's new Kickstarter. They're launching 3 new games on July 7th, and we got a hands-on preview that just got in the mail right before we got there. And so they're releasing 3 new games. It seemed like there was like a theme that's been prevalent that we saw in a lot of games was like Mancala and the Mancala mechanism of trying to move some things around. But they've got one that's called Imps, where you're kind of a head-to-head. You've got a castle, you've got some different cubes and different things that you're moving around to try and get cubes into the other person's castle. And you also get to control these giant beasts that do special things. And so you're manipulating. It's almost like Kabutos, where you've got different things that do different abilities as you're moving around, but it's all about taking out cubes to score points and getting them into the other person's castle, kind of in a Mancala style as you move across the board. We also played another one called Wild Berries, which was almost like a drafting. You've got all these different berries that score different things, and you draft them into your cereal bowl. You've got ones that give you points, ones that take away points, and you have to say it. Mark does it really well. We were told that we have to say it. Was it Wild Berries?
Wild berries.
Wild berries. You have to scare it out. Yeah, it's wild berries.
Real scary.
Real scary. Yeah. But then I think the one that we both loved out of the 3 was a new implementation of Kabuto Sumo, which the original is kind of like the coin pushing game where you put a coin in, hopefully that the tower goes, but you're moving bugs, but you're literally chucking these dice into this arena and trying to flip over opponents' dice and their little bugs. If you get combinations of dice, you eliminate players, and when you get a lot of people around just throwing dice into this arena, it's just like chaos and just fun. Plus you can enlist all these other little worker ones, where one was like literally a dung beetle where you drop a piece of dung from whatever height you want, and it just rains chaos in the middle of the arena. But just, it was just fun. And I don't know, I've been really impressed with like AllPlay stuff. They just have some really good tight little games, and we played a couple other ones. I know Mark, you really enjoyed Gruntz.
Yeah, Gruntz was probably my favorite of the AllPlay games. It's not new for Origins. I think it's been out for a little while now, but it's kind of like chess. It's a 2-player head-to-head, but you have little tanks and figures on a little cloth board.
Mark, I know you like your abstracts. I know you like your 2-player abstracts, just like me.
I do. I especially liked that Dan and I played it, I think, 3 times while we were there, and I beat him every single time. So
It's true. That's true.
Really, really ratcheted up the excitement for me.
Yeah. I'm just glad that all that years of military training came into play. So for you.
Amazing. Do you guys ever play Strike by Ravensburger?
I have not.
No. So
What?
Strike uses a box, and it has a plastic arena, and you're chucking dice into it, and you can hit other dice to knock them over and stuff. So as soon as you had said that, I was like, ooh, that they probably built on that kind of idea. It sounds like it'd be up my alley. I like old games, so I'm going to make old references. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sue me. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, it's really, Kabuto Sumo was really fun, but also, you're trying to really zing those dice to knock the bugs over. But if your dice goes out of the arena, then you lose it, and your opponent gets to take it. If you run out of dice, you also lose. I don't know if that's similar to the other games.
That's all part of Strike as well.
There you go.
But yeah, they're launched in that
BGG.
The only reason I know it is I ripped it off for Web Slinger. So
Yeah.
but I throw cubes, not dice, so I'm original.
It's completely different.
Sure.
Throwing it out.
Yeah, especially
new under the sun.
especially if you're not using D6s, right?
Right? Then it's a totally original.
Totally original.
Because D6s aren't cubes or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Totally different. You shut up, Michael. You're supposed to educate and uplift the audience, not use logic and sound.
That's
Journalism.
funny. Yeah,
So-
it does not mention Strike.
Well,
We're
the
onto a
people
conspiracy.
know.
Better
Yeah.
call Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of Scooby-Doo, we checked out this really cool Scooby-Doo game
Yeah.
from
Call that a segue, kids.
Resurrection games.
Resurrection Games.
Resurrection games, yeah.
Not to be confused with another company with a very similar sounding name.
Yeah, it's
Not
very
Restoration
similar.
Games.
I
Got it.
actually, I thought I might have hit the wrong booth. I did the wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Because at first I thought it was a different art company, and I thought, what possible Scooby-Doo game could they be remaking, and how on earth could they make it better? Because no Scooby-Doo game's ever been good, But tell me,
Man.
like, what was your take on this Scooby game?
It was pretty fun. So, I
Yeah.
mean, right off the bat, the table presence is phenomenal. You have like, the really nice acrylic standees that, full color of the whole cast, and then all the monsters from like every
And it's
season of
got
the show.
all the monsters too
Mhm.
from the
It's like the
cartoon.
old school, right? We're talking Hanna
Yeah.
Barbera art, or are we talking like it's like
Yeah.
okay, good, cool? Because like no offense to, I'm sure Freddie Prinze Jr. and all them are really nice, but come on,
No,
you guys.
it's the original cartoon stuff for sure.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually interviewed Matthew Lillard twice.
Was he cool?
Nice.
Yeah,
seems
he's
like a
super
cool
cool.
dude.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
he's really
Super
he's
laid
a
back.
he's a really nice guy. Corey is friends with him, so I've
Yeah.
met him a handful of times. So
I mean, he was the only one that was typecast pretty well, right?
Yeah.
So,
True.
Like, he was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, I'll be Shaggy for the next 30 years.
yeah, definitely, and he does a really
Like-
good job.
dude, my favorite scene in that is when I think it's the second one where you see the Mystery Mobile and it's a little rocket and there's some suspect smoke coming out of it. And you're like, what's going on? And Scooby and Shag are laughing. And then it rolls into the smoke-filled van because they're cooking brats, dummies.
Mhm.
Not for any other reason. I just love
course.
that.
Yeah,
Of course they
course.
were cooking brats.
I actually had the displeasure of playing the Simon Scooby-Doo game a few weeks ago, and holy cow, that
it's not good.
it was
Yeah.
a traumatic experience.
Yeah,
Now, didn't they do a what is that game? God, the House on Haunted Hill, the
Betrayal.
Betrayal is on Haunted Hill. Didn't they do a Scooby-Doo one? I thought that was a perfect match.
It did. Really dislike Betrayal, so I did not give the Scooby-Doo one a try. But
Yeah, I'm with you.
But this one, it's really light. It's a deduction game. Everyone has like 4 monster tokens, and then there's one that's like the actual culprit. So you're going around moving the crew around, and if you get to a monster, you can ask somebody, "Hey, do you have this monster?" And if they do, they have to tell you. And you're trying to be the first to figure out which one is the one monster that's the actual culprit. So it's really light and it's really quick. And you get the theme of Scooby-Doo where they're just blaming everybody. It's like, it's
Yes.
that guy.
it is. It's really well done because it has that vibe of the cartoon for sure.
Good.
Old
I'm
Mr.
glad somebody
Smithers.
nailed it. I'm glad somebody nailed it, right? It's about time. And
Yeah,
And-
no
and-
kidding.
well, it
And
just
like
means that
Mark said,
whoever the designer is had to have grown up watching Scooby-Doo
Yeah,
or
I mean,
at least did their research. And that matters,
I got that vibe from it. That definitely was
Good.
a fan. And Resurrection seems to be like big IP guys. Like they gave me a copy of their Brave and Bold to hopefully do a video for. So it is a DC battler, but it's a bag builder where you're pulling you're pulling chips out of the bag and you're trying to fill your powers in order to activate them. But there's all these potential strikes. Pulling 3 out of the bag, you could do pretty poorly, or you don't get the right tokens to activate the right powers. But you can just keep pulling it till it's that push too far.
Wow.
But it is
Nice.
like
That sounds super
Superman
fun,
movies.
man.
It is. So it feels like a cross between Unmatched and Dice Throne, and
Wow.
it does feel like the two have come together for that game. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And Scott Morris and I played the demo, and then they gave me a copy. So hopefully we'll do it. We're going to do a preview for it, or short.
Sweet.
See, I was
Yeah, and-
was mostly hiding out in the Unpub, so like I got to see a little bit of Scott's Rainbow Boulevards. That looks really good, and it's
Yes.
coming. And that and he's doing a great job on it. I got to see something from Tim Phillips, the guy that did Dice Words. He's got some new trick-taking graveyard spirit mummy thingy. Pretty cool. And then I was there sitting at tables fishing for people. Dave Chalker and all those guys were, Matt Fantastic was there. All those dudes were there just putting on an awesome Unpub. And I was like, man, this is super cool. I'm usually on the other side of the curtain, right? So I'm working in the hall and then we're sending somebody to go look at protos or whatever. But I've never been on the other side. I'm like, this is awesome. You guys treat these designers great. Love it. So do Unpub. If you haven't done one, seriously, those are a lot of fun. And it was dirt cheap.
Yep.
It's like $5 to come in as a designer, $10 if you took a table or something. I mean, if you're looking for feedback, play in the wild, that is the place to be, man.
I say we got a chance to play Rainbow Boulevard as well.
Cool.
Mhm.
I know
Did.
one of us had a superior score and won that game.
Mhm.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Really like the ideas, the kind of rapid way you can manipulate where the colors are by covering up with other
Yes.
rainbow sections,
It
and then
was
being able to
so well
score
done.
at any time, even when it's not your turn. So you're like always engaged. Like I feel like the game flew by because I was just like paying attention and on the edge of my seat the whole time. So definitely
Yeah,
looking
and that
forward
was
to
the
that.
cool thing, right? Is that your cards are actively, when folks are building stuff, you might finish your cards that you need to finish. So you can't. It's not where you put your cards down and get on your phone. Everybody's engaged the whole game, which is pretty awesome. So,
Good. I mean,
yeah.
we definitely need that, right? Like anymore. Probably the best part of my Origins weekend, honest to God, guys, is we would sit down to play something, and everybody would have their phones, and then I would say, "All right, send your loved ones a little whatever. We're gone for 2 hours. Like seriously, shut that shit up." And we did. And anytime somebody had a turn, and they were like, "Hey, it's your turn. Come on!" And you want to be in that environment, playing with all those people, having a good time. So you don't want to be the weak link. You're always on your phone. And it was awesome, man. For like 3 days, I just played games and talked to people and hung out. And I had like 42 missed calls. I mean, Mark will tell you 100 missed emails. I don't even put a recording on my email anymore or my voicemail because there's so many damn calls. But anyway, whatever. It was awesome. Just playing. Big improvement. Did you guys play in the open game area at all?
We did.
Yeah, but
Like
pretty much. I mean, one of the big focus for me for the show was to play Rainbow Boulevard so I ended up playing it like 4 times at Origins. So and now at home, so I played it like almost a dozen times at this point. So,
so you're an expert. So, but I got to ask you guys, honestly, for me, like those Berky tabletoppers, and I'm not trying to like push, I know Berky forever, but I'm saying he wasn't trying to push these big tables or any of that shit. He just made some rubber mats to put out to play on, like instead of those plastic tablecloths.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Everybody treated him really well. Nobody spilled drinks on him. And nobody stole them. They were there the whole freaking time. And I'm like, this is awesome. And they gave them to Cabs after, and Cabs is going to put them out on the tables next year. And I'm like, man, that's the best part of Origins for me, was watching how all those people would work together to make the open game area was off the charts this year. It was great.
It was
crowded. I think that's
the entire time.
And I think that's one thing about Origins, that it feels more like a gamer's convention rather than like a seller's convention. Like you're going there to play games and get hands-on games and to talk to people, and it felt like that. Like we were, rolling through and saying hi to Jay at Off the Page Games, and he was busy the entire time just showing off some games. There was people with tinfoil hats playing String Theory over on one side. All these crazy war gamers, and there was so much energy flowing through that gaming hall, and it just felt different in that room than it did in the exhibitors hall. It was fun.
Hugely.
Yeah. Or my favorite was when we were like walking, trying to find each other, somebody call or whatever, and we were like, "Where are you at?" "I'm 4 rows down from Big Red Shirt." Because you can't miss that thing. And everybody's like, "Well, I don't understand. What's their gaming thing?" I'm like, "That's their gaming club. It's called Big Red Shirt. You can't miss it. It's a big red shirt up in the air." And they do that so they know where the hell to muster and play their games. And I'm like, so why don't we all just meet by the Big Red Shirt and we'll go find a table? It was great.
I think one of the coolest things was the library, the gamer library that they have. And like they were giving Rio Grande Games, like a big up to them. They were giving away so many games just for people checking out, but they just do such a nice job with that gamers library. And like just like great selections. I think Mark and I played Minos from Board and Dice. Was our, we wanted a big chunky game at the end of the weekend, and then like a father-son came and sat down and played with us, and so we just had a really good time in that gamer hall. And I really do a big shout out to all the volunteers that made that happen. It was super fun.
Definitely. Yeah,
for sure.
One of us outscored the others and won that game as well.
Okay, man. I don't think I won a game this weekend. I'm just gonna say it's been a while since Mark and I have played. And
what I played today?
Yeah,
Mark keeps score, Dan does not.
You know what? I did win a game. We played a cooperative game at the Airbnb, and we won together.
That's true.
So I get the
Tesseract.
So it was good.
Hey,
yeah, I think of all my Rainbow plays, of all the games I've played with Rainbow Boulevard, I only lost one, and it was only by 1 point.
That's awesome.
Mark is the king of the rainbows.
Yeah, I keep sending Scott my scores, and he's like, "Dude,
That's
That's
so funny.
awesome.
I think my favorite thing, we're there to see board games, but I've recently been getting into is like indie tabletop war games and all these kind of
Yeah.
weird games that you can print, 3D print pieces at home. And just walking around and seeing some of the like custom games that people brought and set up. There was this massive setup for a Smurfs war game
yes!"
where they had
Oh my
like
gosh,
you'd
it was
build a war band of
hilarious.
Smurfs, and they had hundreds of these Smurf figures and these giant wars going on like in a Smurf village.
Yep. And what was
It's
crazy,
just
I
insane.
walked by before anybody was there, and I'm like, "What is this?" And then I went by later, and there was a huge group, and they were deep in it, and they were all fully engaged. It was pretty awesome.
Dude,
Were they
you know,
reenacting the Battle of Smurfs Deep?
Yes.
Good. They should.
Yeah.
That's a
I used to play clicks quite a bit at my FLGS, and we were doing an unlimited army, and this dude rolled up, and everybody had like 30 or 40 unit, piece armies and ready to go. And this guy rolls up this little case and goes, "I got 3 pieces, and I'll clean anybody's clock on this map." And everybody's like, "Whatever." And he busts out the Powerpuff Girls. That was his 3. And he had taken the 3 best Superman bases in all of Hero Clicks from all the years of, and he put them all on them. So like, Buttercup's flying around, just laser eyeing people from the sky, and everybody's like, "She's relentless." I'm like, "She's a little girl. Like, what are you doing?" We were dying, and she just
That's
mopped
great.
everybody up. It was great.
That's fun.
I can't. I gotta see this Smurf war game. Like,
I took some pictures.
I could just be like, I
we
would
got
hope
pic-
that everybody involved was like into it, right? Like,
They were.
I'm gonna
yeah.
Smurf. You're Smurf all the way. The Smurf over there. Smurf
If they
you.
were not-
Smurf you. You
Missed
Smurfy
opportunity.
Smurf, right? Like,
If
It
they
that
were
would've been
smurfing
so
each other
awesome.
in their Smurf foxholes, I don't know what we should be doing, but it should be the Smurfiest. That's for sure.
that really
just
does sound
Googled
like
it.
the Smurfiest
So
game
we got
ever.
a picture. Dan, Mark, or Mark, did one of us get a picture of Smurf Battle here? We got.
I didn't get the battles in progress, but I did get the table before the battles.
Can we put that? Like, can we like go
Yeah.
ding and put that
Yeah.
little?
Yeah, just put that up
So
there.
You're all seeing it right now on the thing right now. See,
Mhm.
this is great
Yeah.
technology.
It's the magic.
We'll add it in post.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will.
Ooh. That's my surprise face now
Yeah.
for everything.
So one of the
Really-
things I wish I could have seen, I know Brent and his Armchair Dragoons were there in force this year, and they had Fort Circle over there with them.
Yeah.
And I believe Jason Matthews had like a giant like Twilight Struggle magnetic board
Mhm.
going.
With the Capcom marker,
Mhm.
countdown marker. Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
God, I hope they bring that to Gen Con or to
cool. I hope so too.
PAX
Yeah.
Unplugged would probably be better, but
Right.
we're gonna try to get Jason on this podcast sometime soon.
I think arguably the coolest game, the game I'm most excited for, Lord of the Rings: Circle of Conflict.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So, Mike, you look intrigued. So let me explain it to you.
I haven't heard of this.
This is
That's a big
a
deal.
roll and write game, except you're playing as the free people and the shadow at the same time. So you have the board, actually more like a folder.
Mhm.
One side is the free people, one side is the shadow, and you're playing the shadow against the person to your right against their free people, and then you're playing the free people against the person to your left against their shadow. So you're playing like in a circle, and it's all simultaneous play. So it's one dice pool, and everybody's activating on their roll and write board based on those dice. And it's very like Hadrian's Wall or that type of game where it's just like combo. And yeah, you're like getting heroes and villain characters and building up armies and going to war and trying to throw the ring in the mountain and also kill Frodo. It's the whole thing.
Is that
But playing both sides
Asmodee,
at the
or
same
is
time.
that
Super
is that
cool.
one of the partners that they've got working on the Lord of the Rings stuff?
I believe it's Asmodee. It was at their
It's
booth
Asmodee.
and they were there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we got to, one of the designers was actually the one taking us through and taking us through the game, which was really fun. And they were even talking about at Gen Con, they're going to do some like 30-person game since it's all simultaneous play. As long as everybody has a
Wow.
board, you could just add as many as you want and have a gigantic game of this confrontation going on. So,
Which,
Nice.
which
pretty
designer
sweet.
was there for it?
It
Jeff?
was Jeff.
Yes.
Where's last
Yes.
name?
So I played this game maybe 2 years ago in prototype form.
Wild, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really good even then. Yeah.
It's
A
crazy
jet-
when you see these things evolve, for sure.
Jeff Engelstein is his name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
Yeah,
he was telling us he actually conceived the game as like a World War II game
Mm-hmm.
originally, and that's how it was originally developed. And then it occurred to him like this would actually fit perfectly for Lord of the Rings with like a good versus evil theme. And then now it is what it is today. So
That's
kind of
wild.
interesting backstory.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think we're gonna have that maybe at Gen Con, and then it's like officially a November release. I think if you pre-order, it's
Mm-hmm.
on Asmodee.
Excellent. Excellent. Well,
yeah,
yeah, well,
it's
then
it was
we'll-
really it's good.
I can't wait to see it. I will definitely keep our eyes peeled and request it when it's available for sure.
Accidentally stumbled upon it on Asmodee's website before we even got there because I was trying to figure out when I can get my hands on Fate of the Fellowship. So I was looking for a reprint date, and then it was like, oh, here's some other Lord of the Rings games. What's this? And then we met the
Mhm.
designer, so it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Very nice.
Did you happen to notice who the co-designer on that game is?
I did not.
It'd be
It is Stephen Bonacore.
mm-hmm. He did a great job with you guys.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
He really
so
did.
he's the one that brought me in to play the demo or the prototype way back. And he's like, you got to see this. He was so excited.
The Podfather himself.
Yes.
The Podfather, baby.
Yes.
It's good. Like that's the thing, right? People, I heard that a few times, right? The whole, what Barnacle? No, it's good. Like, who cares who made it? It's good. Like,
Mhm.
you know,
I mean, it
Yeah.
won an Origins award for
Yeah.
It's
clever
it's
game.
really good. I mean, it really is. So
there were some interesting awards this year.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
popped-
let's talk about the awards, shall we?
Well, I think
on the last day, I popped by the Eagle Griffin booth, which was odd to me because full circle moment. My first show 21 years ago at an Origins was in an Eagle Griffin booth working it. So I was like, wow, they haven't been back since. So like they haven't been back in 15 years, right? I was like, well, that sounds cool. And wouldn't you know, it's my old pal Travis working at the Eagle Griffin booth after all these years of being a queen.
Mhm.
He's finally grown up and now he's an Eagle Griffin.
Yeah, Sean. He told us he was going to do that in the last
Yeah.
podcast episode.
remember he was here?
No, that didn't
Yeah.
air.
No,
Yeah, it did.
It did. It's
It's on the other
live.
channel. Spoiler.
Yeah, but
No,
this
it's on
one's
this channel. It's on this channel.
this one's coming
Yeah.
out before that one.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
don't know.
it's live
It's-
right now.
It's like a month ago. What are you talking about? No, I'm
Oh,
just
man.
saying when you're there in the moment and you see him, I had the double take. He's in the same booth. He looks the same. He's got
Mhm.
the same stuff, but they're just different games. And I'm going, what? I don't understand. But they had Speakeasy and it had won an
Ugh.
award. And he was telling us the story of they have submitted for awards for like the last 10 years and they never win. And there's always one company that always beats them. And we're not naming names or anything like that because it's not about that. But they didn't go to the awards because they were like, at company X also entered, I'm sure we'll lose. And Speakeasy beat them. So I told him, all you had to do was change teams. Right? So he's back and now they're winning, baby. So
Well, Speakeasy was one of my favorite game experiences that I've played in the past year. I played with Mike about maybe 2 months ago. It's one of the more accessible, Eagle Griffin, Lacerda games that I've played in a long time. And the theme flows nicely. I absolutely had an amazing experience and cannot wait to get that back to the table if you haven't
Yeah,
played
Mike
it. It was a
telling me about
well-deserved.
it. It looked really good.
Yeah.
It's
It gave me
super
a
good. I
little
really
bit of-
enjoyed it.
it gave me like a little bit of bootlegger vibes, but Vital did such a good job of like capturing that theme and everything about it. I agree with you. I think it's going to have some good legs for him. Like they picked the right time. They got the right crew, the right guys, and those games, I think they're going to have a really good, if they're going to Gen Con or wherever, I would imagine Speakeasy is going to do really well for them this year.
Yeah, and I know they're
So
sold
full
out. They're
disclosure-
working on that. So
Full disclosure, that was actually the first Lacerda game that I've ever played.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I own several.
But you've not
I
played
own
them.
several, but I have not played them. How easy is it to get a Lacerda to the table?
Well,
Come on,
it's
guys.
true.
You just take
Give
the
me
lid off.
that.
You take
Yeah.
the
You
lid
just
off.
take the lid off.
You take the
Yes,
pieces
yes. But
It's easy, Mike.
It wasn't
Go
like
ahead.
you were twisting my arm when you brought it
Right.
that day. You
right,
weren't
right.
twisting
Well,
it.
no,
Yeah.
I was super happy to, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it's funny because before that I had played Galactic Cruise, and a lot of people had told me, oh, this is kind of like a Lacerda but a little lighter, right? And
Cruise is lighter. I mean, okay, fair. Fair.
compared to to a typical Lacerda, I would actually put Galactic
bit.
Cruise kind of in the same space as Speakeasy, because Speakeasy was not a difficult game to like grasp. I did really good on my first play of that, and I was expecting to get annihilated because I don't do good the first play of any like really complex game,
Sure.
because I'm like poking at mechanics and trying to figure out what I should do on my next game. Like, I don't generally glom onto winning strategies as quickly as other people do. So
I'm just glad that Mark wasn't there because I actually won that game in that first place. It was really great. So it was good. And then speaking of Galactic Cruise, they were showing off their prototype of Excursions,
Yes.
which is their next in the Galactic Cruise universe, and that's really cool.
Yep.
Kind of
It
focusing
looked
on
amazing.
kind of a rondelle action movement, still some of the same mechanics, like upgrading and adding
Yep.
your developments on to
But
do different
the rondelle
actions.
was so cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
I'm very
no,
excited for that one.
I've been talking to them about trying to get an advanced copy of that so we could do a preview. I don't know if you've talked to them, Mark
I've
Street.
a couple of times, yes. Well, I was there as well. So
Excellent. Yeah.
they seem definitely, because I did a preview for Galactic Cruise. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing about, I always think about Galactic Cruise is that I think it's equally complex. It's just that the theme is so cohesive. It doesn't feel like I'm doing
Right.
this thing. Everything you're doing is coming together and it makes sense. And I think it feels more cohesive and maybe doesn't feel as complex as it truly is.
I'll give you that. I think a lot of that had to do with what Anderson
Yes.
did with the rules too.
Yes.
Because that isn't a very easy to teach game, and the rules are
Oh my
I would
gosh.
consider them like a high watermark for rules.
They are. It is
No,
one of the best-
we've
is absolutely one of the best. I get a lot of prototype rule books, right? And it was absolutely one of the best and most cohesive and easy to jump in. And I was worried about doing that preview because the game was so heavy. And I was like, oh, this all makes sense.
Right?
Mhm.
Isn't that the way it should be?
Yeah.
You should be able to read the synopsis in that beginning of that rule book and know exactly what it is we're about to immerse in. Like, it just, but hey, I get it, right? Like,
Well-
not every game can just dive in and know exactly what you're getting.
Well, I remember Mark. I know Mark Julian. I know that you were there when we played that much earlier prototype of the game at Gen Con, and like, I think we were both like, "Oh, this is some good stuff here."
Yeah.
And then when we saw it a couple of years later at Origins, when we had the booth, I guess that was like 2-3 years ago, to see it like realized like that. That's like one of Galactic Cruise is like one of those games that we've seen multiple times across its lifespan as it was being developed. And I kind of hold it up as an example of like, this is why I love seeing games in early stages, because it's so fun to watch that evolution. So
For sure. Well, and for me, it was a full circle moment to see these Lacerda games in a booth at a company I used to work at. Took me all the way back to my first Origins, and I'm going, this is my first Origins as a player. I'm not exhibiting. It's the first time I wasn't there with a publisher or working. And I'm going, and the last place I'm at is Eagle Griffin of all places. And after all these years, they still have that tumbling dice set, and they're still letting people roll for discounts. And I'm going, and it's just all the memories, right? 20 years ago, us hustling, rolling dice on those things. And it was cool to see, right? And it was cool to see friends of mine and companies evolving, and their games have gotten so much better since when I worked there. It was
true,
awesome.
right?
Well, and because, like, you know, it was funny, right? I've traded games with Travis for years just for gaming fun, right? We have both ran conventions and we would swap stuff. And this year, you know, we got to the point where he had all my stuff. I had all his. And now he's over at Eagle Griffin. I haven't been there so long. I'm like, dude, you got like 20 years worth of games I can swap with you. And it was just nice to see a lot of the old familiar faces. I saw Shane from Gray Fox and Lance and all them.
Yep, same.
And they were, you know, they were packed, having a good old time. I saw Chris Gould from Watzelpogue. I just love that guy, man. His energy, he's always there. He's always trying, you know, he's always exhibiting, and just, guys, I love all of his games. They're just different off the wall kind of things. And it was cool. There was just, you know, a lot of usual suspects. A lot of the big guys aren't there anymore, which is kind of a bummer. And then, like, you know, if I'm going to hit the elephant in the room, like, it felt like attendance was down, and like, you know, I'm old school, so I get it. We got to transition to a digital world, but no on-site books.
Yeah,
Everything flip into your phone, and then like badges that don't even have like a
names
name on it. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, a lot of people forget, you know, like, a lot of us came through this poor as shit. And so, like, sometimes the only souvenir I get from an Origins or a Gen Con is my badge, right? Like, and you know, it's like, I can't even put my name or the year. Nothing was on it. It was just like this like thing. And I'm like, damn, I could get a free bowl of soup across the street with this thing. Like, it doesn't even look like it's a convention badge, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't.
But I mean, outside of that, like, the staff is always great. The volunteers are always great. The show's always good, but it's just, you know, and I don't want to get political on any of that crap, because I was a GAMA member for many years and all that. But I will say, if you're going to run an organization, and having been a guy who ran on the board and lost to somebody who wasn't even there, I can say this with hypercriticalism. You should have your freaking elections after Origins, not before, because it's very clear to people that have been around that there's been a board change, and it happened right before Origins. And maybe the people that have been there that have run it successfully in the past could have helped you run through this one when you transition to your new position. And maybe you shouldn't roll out all your new changes year one when you're 3 months new on said board. But that's it. That's the end of political for me. I'm just saying.
So,
you know,
I thought it was pretty telling that we didn't get an email from GAMA about Origins attendance.
Yeah, I thought
The
I
day
was very
after.
surprised. Yeah,
no
And-
turnstile have been issued. What gives with that,
Yeah,
right?
that was a little weird, because, like, I mean, every convention that, unless you're a tiny one, like, every convention has like published their totals literally like
Yeah.
by Sunday evening.
I know.
So I thought that was a bit odd.
They did
I
share on the I think it was on the Origins Facebook page, but the people that run the board game library shared some numbers, and they did
Yes.
break records with that. So
Right.
I don't know about
Yeah,
overall
I-
attendance, but
Of course, because the library was bitching this
Yeah,
year,
it was
right?
awesome.
I mean, like, they nailed Cabs and Berky, nailed that whole area.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
When I think
But
there were just some like logistical things. Like, you talk about some of the changes that were made, like, even, you know, some of the big names that were there, the bigger booths that were there, they didn't really get to place where they were going to go. They were just told where to go. So you had Arcane Wonders in the back corner, who has always been a big booth, and they were kind of way back in the back. AllPlay was
Usually
always
they're
all
up
the way to
front,
the side,
so-
which most of those big things are usually those up front big booths that people are going to right as they come in. But they had them all over the place, like all of the big names. You know, you had Bezier kind of back in the middle.
So
You couldn't find
I know
them.
how that booth selection process works. I mean, and you do too, Sean, because you've been involved in it, I'm sure.
Be point based. It's always
Yeah,
been. And
right.
if you go for the last 20 years, you get a pick in
Yeah.
the top 5 or
Well-
10, which is reasonable.
And like the one booth time we got a booth, like, I was literally like, yeah, I want to be in the back. I
Mhm.
want to be in the back away from the noise as much
Yeah.
as possible because we're setting up a film studio.
Right.
But like
But that's where
really
they threw
weird.
Arcane Wonders and the merch shop for
That's
Origins merch shop
insane.
was back there.
That
They
is-
were
it
the
was back
very
there.
far
Weird.
back corner.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
the other kind of weird thing was like, and this, I don't know, maybe this was me, but like, I was walking and we had a couple people and we are talking about something. We're going to look for a game. And then all of a sudden we're stopped. And I'm like, why are we
Yeah.
stopped? And everybody's like, well, there's a booth here. And I'm like, in the middle of the fucking, in the
Yes.
walkway? I'm like,
Yes.
what? And,
The
and, like,
layout.
the
Yeah.
rows were like,
The layout was really messed up.
Mhm.
It was really,
Well,
not good.
And here's
Dude,
another. And here was another thing. I went over and talked to Jay off the page games because I wanted to check out like Grendel and some of the stuff that they were playing. And they basically had game sessions set up the entire time. They had they were showing off their games. They had playthrough sessions. That was their presence at Origins. But they didn't just give them the same tables every time. So basically, he had Grendel on this table for an hour, and then they're telling him he needs to move 2 to 3 tables over because they booked somebody else on the table that Grendel was at. And he basically had to start shuffling or just wait and hope that the people who were coming to do their game were cool enough. But those kinds of like little things, it's like, it doesn't even make sense. These guys are booked out for the entire session, put them on the same tables for the entire time. There was like little things like that, from the layout of the convention hall to moving people around. But those things, they add up, and those are things that people then notice when they're going.
If
I
we're
agree with that, Dan, because it felt like if one or two little things were different or changed or maybe not ideal, you would have overall gone, oh, my experience was awesome. Kind of how we started this talk, right? We saw these cool things. We had a lot of fun. But then you start to think about all these little inconveniences that hit along the way. And you're like, what? Why did that all happen this year? All in 1 year? You're just like, I don't get it.
Well,
But,
and it's not a great year for it to happen, right? Because
Right.
in the months and the full year leading up to Origins this year, I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but several of our reps from several companies indicated that they were not going to be returning this year. So I was already, and then in fact, there were other folks that we even went further and said, I don't think Origins is going to last much longer. Now, I personally,
But I don't know about that.
I don't personally agree that that's going to happen. It's going to change, and it looks like it's definitely already changing. I don't think it'll go away, but there has been a lot of change within GAMA since GAMA Expo, even.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about the Origins awards and categories and some of the games on there that had absolutely no business being nominated for the categories they were in?
Before we do that, Mark, can we take a little break and remind everybody that we love GAMA. We do like Origins.
Yes.
We like going to shows and playing games. Just disclaimer, before we talk about the shit show that was the awards. Sorry, did I might spoiler alert.
It's true.
Yeah. Ooh, baby. Okay.
Who's nominating these games and who is vetting the nominations when you have a category that is best constructed card game and half of the nominees are Magic the Gathering starter boxes or the League of Legends starter box? Sure, that particular box is set. You know all the cards in it. It's not random. But it's Magic the Gathering. Come on.
Yeah.
And there are so many cool new card games coming out that actually fit that category that, don't get to be in there because we're nominating Magic. And then they even had a regular TCG category that then had all the, Magic stuff in it again. So what are we doing?
This is very much a don't get me started moment.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot going on behind the scenes with those awards.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, let me just say this one thing real quick. I kind of gave up on the Origins Awards a couple of years ago. Completely. No.
Well, so did the people that won them because they weren't there.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes. I'm not surprised. So up until I think last year, they for a few years they were trying to introduce categories for a brand new voting member group within GAMA for media, like stuff like best, I don't even remember what the categories were. Like, I think one was like best long form video, best long form written. Like, I don't even think it was that good or that organized. Because I remember thinking, and I have entered Gaming Trend into these awards a number of times. And the moment that I gave up on the awards was when I went to the awards to see who won, and the winners in both cases for both awards that were earmarked for media, a publisher won them for content that they made, but a publisher won them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is up? And so, like, I mean, if Nicole Brady watches this episode, she is going to be like, oh, Mike's talking about the awards again. And I'm like,
she's going to grab you by the backpack straps and pummel you like Supergirl repeatedly.
I will tell you, I got to talk to Nicole at Origins, and I think she's loving life. She's getting to make content again. She's doing great things. It's great.
That's great. That's exactly what she needed to do, because I think she was getting too deep into the horrible, nasty underbelly of things, and needed, and I think that's much. I'm going to see her at Gen Con. I'm sure she was very. We were gonna. I wanted. That's another thing I wish I could have had a chance to do, is talk to Nicole.
I will say there were some positives. At the beginning, they did kind of an in memoriam that I thought was really nice. They talked about some of the kind of people that built Origins or built like kind of, pillars of the hobby. And then I thought it was really cool. They had the Hall of Fame induction, and Richard Borg was inducted into the Hall of Fame, who's just, made so many amazing games. So that part was nice. I really liked the Hall of Fame first part. It was just when we got to the awards at the end that I thought it went a little off.
Well, and in my opinion, those have been the parts they've done consistently good over the years. The only
Wayne Reynolds, who was like an artist who did a lot of stuff for Magic the Gathering, Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons. He had a hilarious video that he had created for his honor, because he's over in England and didn't have it, but just some cool stuff. And then
nice,
was it Antoine Bauzo was the other one that got inducted. He did like Seven Wonders, all those, and Duel for Middle Earth, and just Hanabi, some of those things. So that was definitely a highlight, was that first part. And then there was also
to get Liar's Dice while Richard was there inducted, and they were like, oh, sorry, can't make an exception. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't make an exception? You're putting the guy in the Hall of Fame, and that's like the game that he's known for. And like, it's been on the ballot 4 years in a row, and it's made the top 3 cut every year, and they just, it doesn't quite make it. And I'm like, if there's ever a time you're going to give the award, you guys, you give it. Sandy there.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
And, and that sucks, right? Because whatever. But hey, like, I appreciate that people are trying, and I appreciate that we like to give accolades to the guys out there that are out there slinging and making cool stuff. So none of that needs to be taken away. But seriously, man, the categories need to be like rethunk and like, I don't know, voted on by people that actually play games, not like,
Well, so that is literally what I've said after every single awards show.
Right.
Every year
they had
for like 5 years.
They had a category for like the best miniature, and of course a Warhammer miniature, like another pose of the same dude that they've been making for decades. One, but you had like General Grievous on his wheel bike from the new Legion set. That's just like the coolest freaking mini I've ever seen. It was at least nominated, but Warhammer took the win.
Yeah. It was, there was a couple of things like I hadn't heard of before too, like there's the role-playing game of the year was this like Land of Eam, which is based off of a middle grade fiction, which just looked really cool.
Land of Eam, like kind of awesome.
Yeah, and I want to check that out. And then even like the White or Winter Rabbit was the other one, like the light strategy game of the year. I haven't really heard of it as much, especially with some of the big names that were in that category, with Battle Hoth and Finspan and Sanctuary and some of those guys. And Diatoms was a great game in that category. But yeah, I mean there's some cool things to look at, but I definitely think it was just. Yeah, the energy in the room. I mean, there was maybe like 50 people in the entire room, and the host was trying to pull some laughs out of these people and try to get the energy up. And yeah, it wasn't, and it was just
it's just a far cry from what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like it used to be literally a celebration. It was every Saturday night. It was a big old to do, right? Like hall closed, you had enough time to go eat, you had enough time to bank up, book up to the award ceremony. Publishers wanted to be there, right? Like, and it's like they do it Friday at like, some time where if you were exhibiting in the hall, it was impossible for you to get.
I have to give you a hard time about that, Sean, because I looked it up. Historically, it's always been on a Friday.
So this debated. So I did a little research myself.
Yeah.
And it only moved to Friday 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm going to say for the 24 years I've been there.
Who used AI to come up with their answer?
No, see, I was there. I used my own eyes, not no AIs, my eyes.
Right.
And I tell you, it's always been on freaking Saturday. And I appreciate it moving to Friday. I appreciate why they did it, but like, damn, man, that was difficult to find and deal with. But
and everybody I talked to, like I stopped by briefly, but everybody I talked to felt like it was just not a great event.
It has honestly been an afterthought for years.
Yeah,
and that's a shame.
It felt very much like that next level afterthought this year.
Yeah. And there was more life in the foam sword battle arena that was happening on the other side of the wall than there was in the Origins award room. I mean, there was definitely we were like, are there gunshots? Are there fireworks going off? And it was all happening because there was a bunch of kids who were having way better of a time than we were.
I was like, this award ceremony, once Richard Borg got his award, let's get his swords, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so disappointing because like GAMA Expo the last couple of years has been really good. Like really good. Like much better than it has in the short time that I've been going. So it's like, I guess it's like if one does good, the other has to like adjust.
And I will say this, I'm sure I'm not the most fairest level to be hypercritical, right? Having being on both sides of the curtain and running my own shows and seeing all that, I'm going to be a little more hypercritical and see it than the casual guy walking in. But the fact that you guys are in the media, you're used to seeing and interviewing and playing things, and you guys saw it and felt it too. I'm actually glad I got to answer last, because I was like, am I going to be a little too harsh?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be harsh. And like, you guys come out gun swinging, man. You got Mike fists left and right. For the episode we lose them, this is the time we need them, because you guys are like pummeling Origins today. Let's give them a break.
I mean, let's say overall, I had a great time. Like, it was very relaxing. Like, you got to go and get to see some things. Like, it was a great weekend. I think one of the things is that you pick apart some of the things that you love. Like, if you're a fan of these, you want to be critical so that you can make them better. It's always it's the way we do this in the media too. We love the gaming aspect of it, so we try to tell people the truth about what we experience so that they can have that same love, and they can get better with some of those things. I think that's part of why we are critical of these things. But I mean, like I said, overall I had a great experience. We definitely felt like it was a more leisurely pace than some other cons, like Gen Con. You feel like you're running a million miles an hour every minute of every day. It seems like and this is, you can kind of chill and chat and see some things that are happening. Got a lot of great experiences, got to talk to a lot of new people, and set some things up for the future too. So it was great.
Yeah, Gen Con, you literally have to look at your schedule and go, Boot 507. All right. If I go down the back row, move over here, and I need about 12 and a half minutes of walk time. So we got about 4 minutes for this meeting, and I got to go. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise you're missing everything.
Yep.
Crazy. But not at Origin, baby. You could look across the hall and go, I'll be there in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was definitely had a way more relaxed feel to it. And I actually found that to be nice. And one of the neat things is that, many labs had their own room this year. They weren't in the hall because it's 30 years for them. So they were doing all kinds of events, and they were going until like 10 or midnight every night, doing their stuff. And people, were just like, wow, another place to go. The hall closed, and they were just doing all kinds of neat things. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I know it's old news, but I played my first game of Blood on the Clock Tower, and I had a blast.
It's good.
And then I ended up with the spy role, which ridiculous for a new player to even be considered for that role, because I'm like, I have no idea who the high value targets are, but it didn't change the fact that I loved it. It was still fun.
Did you do Artemis that was next door?
I've done it many times. I did not do it this time.
So this year he was experimenting with projectors. He's going to change, but he was projecting them up on the walls, massive, like a giant screen where you could watch the whole thing.
Artemis. It's so good.
And I was fascinated. I didn't want to be at a station, doing whatever. I just wanted to watch the battle on the screen.
Yeah.
That all those people were coordinating on. I'm like, man, this is bad. I was like, dude, you need to put that projector outside and people will be watching, the show inside.
Yeah.
It was cool. Ella and Bill and Lori, those people run an amazing thing. I got to do the Artemis, and I mean, they put their heart and soul into it. If you guys have never done one of those, seriously, it's like, I don't know, 12-minute mission or something for
totally
a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Is it 20?
Yeah,
but
I don't remember, but yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, and they even can track your progress. You can come back and try a different mission. You can move to different stations. I mean, if you like Trek at all, or any kind of sci-fi where you've ever wanted to shoot shit at people, you gotta try.
And have all the stations. You have engineering and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, I mean, they got the touch monitors, so you really feel panicked when somebody's like, "Shit, they're on our side! Shoot some missiles!" Hitting the stuff. It's
really fun.
That reminds me of there was when I was still doing the video game stuff, I had an Oculus Rift, and we played this VR Star Trek bridge game.
Yeah, it's really good.
It was me and Ron and Laura, Ron's wife, and that was wild. Like it was really very close to like, oh, I'm on the bridge of the Enterprise, and
yes,
I'm supposed to do something. What the hell am I supposed to do? Holy shit.
Mark Street broke his foot fighting Darth Vader in Immortal. Just throwing it out there.
I broke my big toe.
Vader broke his toe.
Yeah.
That's how.
So there's a part where you're fighting Vader where you have to walk across this plank, and instinctively tried to reach for the pillar and grab it, and there was no pillar for real. And I went, man.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And then he forgets this part of the story. After he breaks his freaking foot with his Oculus, we're playing at Gary's at Haunted Game Cafe, playing on one of those sweet tables. And he's like, dude, you got to try my Oculus. This is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, let me try it. What? This is so cool. Why aren't you playing with this every day? And he's like, oh, I broke my toe. And I'm like, take this damn thing. I'm not going to VR and break my foot. What the hell, man? I love games, but I ain't gonna break limbs for this shit.
Yeah.
No.
And the thing is that it broke in such a way that it wasn't like crazy painful. So it wasn't until that night when I pulled my sock off and the toe was black and blue. So,
black and blue.
yeah, so
I've had that before.
It's crazy that how immersive that stuff is, and I love it.
Yeah. Cool. It's pointless to resist. Why would you not?
So let's get a highlight from everyone. Mark, you just mentioned Blood on the Clock Tower.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight for me. Absolutely.
Dan, what about you? What was the highlight of Origins for you?
I think it was getting to see some of the upcoming things. I actually really liked seeing some of the smaller companies that were coming out, like the we talked with a group called Stacced. It was this little card game, but it was very intriguing. Like this, like 3D. It's almost like an Uno card shedding game, but the way that it's designed, it really kind of trips your mind out on the board because they're like the 3D cubes, but the cards are just are flat. So as you build, you're kind of building these 3D towers, and they flip around, and very much like Uno. It's simple, but it's a different type of a deck of cards. And the guy's a graphic designer, and him and his wife are running this. It was their very first convention, so it was really cool to see that. Talking with the guys at Resurrection Games, and they're 2 years old as a company, and even just getting to hear some of their story and how they're kind of building up. That was their first convention that they've ever been at. So I think it was cool to see some of that. And we also got to go look at it like an Asmodee, and some of the upcoming games from there. And if you've never heard of a tile building deck building game, that was fun. The Happiest Cat in the World is a game coming up, and seeing some of that stuff, it was cool twist on that. But yeah, it was just really cool to kind of get some hands on of some different things. Yeah, it's just some really good highlights and stuff. So yeah.
So that was kind of the flip side of what I was thinking. It's like I said earlier that I knew that a lot of companies that had decided to opt out of Origins. Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean that like those are going to be just empty spaces, right? What that usually means is that that's an opportunity for a company, a fledgling company, to come and show off and sell what they've got too. And I think probably the best example that I've seen of that was that weird September Gen Con right after the pandemic, right? Where like nobody big showed up. Right. And we talked to all kinds of people that we'd never talked to before. And so I thought that was,
it had that
was
vibe,
a
and
good opportunity.
I have to agree that I was just super impressed with Resurrection Games. They're doing some really neat things. So absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sean, what about you? What was a highlight?
We must have been a scheduling conflict. I'll go with that because we're being nice to GAMA now.
That's not a schedule. But that's not a highlight.
No. We had submitted to run a Liar's Dice tournament that didn't make the catalog, but we wound up playing it at a local pub nearby and having some fun.
That's cool.
And Richard had come out for, again, Sandy, and we played like a 12 or 14 person Liar's Dice in a pub with beer, and we had a blast. And then the game after we all decided to buy, I had that weird surreal moment where somebody's like, "Oh, I just bought this show. It's brand new release, whatever." And they're opening it up and we're looking through it. And I'm like, "This is Feed the Kraken." And they're like, "Yeah, it just came out." And I'm like, "No, it's this. And it plays like this and this." And everybody's like, "Okay, well, you be the captain, first captain, and let's go." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm playing it. And everybody's like, "How did you read the rule book?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I played this like 2-3 years ago. This is a great game." And they're like, "It just came out." And I'm like, "God damn it. I don't know. I play stuff all the time that comes out and it doesn't come out, and maybe it gets published and maybe it gets sold. But like, that's an awesome game. And I was surprised it took so long to get that game over. It released at Essen 2 years ago, I think it was, or a year and a half,
and 2022
was
I've seen that out a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
It's cool.
Yeah. Had a lot of fun with that. So
nice.
That was my surprise. I wasn't expecting to see it, play it, or like it. I would have played Smurf War if I would have saw that. That would have been the
right. No, you would have smurfed.
I probably would have got my smurfed in my Smurf.
Yeah. You would have gotten totally smurfed, man. Totally.
Yeah.
You would have got Gargameled.
Let's leave your Gargamel out of this, pal. Okay. We're only smurfing each other. We ain't that close of friends. All right.
Mr. Julian.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing was just walking through the open play area and just seeing all the creativity on display. So we mentioned the Smurf game, just somebody, invented that. That's awesome. There was a guy that had an absolutely insane board for Fallout Wasteland Warfare. It was an entire vault.
It was so cool.
That was made, which is just like fully painted, fully decked out with like every room had, beds and radios and chairs and furniture. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So cool. And then, Warlord Games has their like World War II, but with mechs. So seeing all these mechs, so there was a giant Car Wars game going on. So I just love seeing like all that kind of stuff and getting
Yeah, no
inspired
doubt.
for like, you know, I mentioned earlier, I'm getting into some of these weird miniatures games, and it's like, oh, I can make something like that. That'd be really cool. Or, oh, I never thought of, you know, what if you made a game with, you know, these toys like Smurfs or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was really fun, just walking around, and I didn't even play any of those, but just standing there and kind of watching the games and seeing what people were doing was just awesome.
Yeah, I saw one guy, actually, Sean, this will be for you. They were playing like a 4-terrain Dragons Down game on one of the tables that I saw walking through. So that was fun to see.
It was awesome. I think I took a couple pictures of that because I was in disbelief. I'm like, wow, this is awesome, right? Like, you know, it was one of those things. I was like, you guys having fun playing this? They're like, yeah, but you know, we're in a really tense moment. So, and I'm like, totally
yeah,
cool.
they were like, they didn't. I was just looking over trying to say, and they're like, well, yeah, you can go away. Yeah, no, we're in this, so which is great. I mean, I love to see it. Like it was, and that was everywhere in that game hall. Like there's people just having fun and getting into it and doing things. So that's great.
I mean, I did love that. So, I mean, honestly, I told a bunch of my buddies, I'm like, I'm going to go back next year to play, whether I get a gig somewhere, work somewhere, don't work somewhere. I'm going back as a player. Like that'll be a vacation spot for me. And it was fun.
There was some guys playing a World War II game. I don't know which one it was, but the scale of it had, you know, tanks that were like this big that they were playing around. It was like, man, I want to play with. I just want to play with these tanks.
And the power play, like we all just revert back to our 15-year-old selves when we're in those halls for a few days, and maybe if we took better care of ourselves. But other than that, you know, hey, it was fun.
There was a huge World War II game going on, but they were playing on the floor. And I was thinking, like, man, I don't know about that. There was guys like laying down, looking at line of sight.
And you're a young man, Mark. Come on now.
Yeah,
You can't be.
There's no way I'd be into that.
Yeah.
We're like, if it ain't got a chair, I ain't playing it.
That's right.
Help, I've line of sighted and can't get up. So what it sounds like to me is, this was a bit, there was a bit of trouble this year with Origins. Like it wasn't as cohesive as it has been in years past. There were some issues, but when it boils down to it, the gaming is what won in the end, right? That was where a lot of the energy was. And I think maybe GAMA should really pay attention to that and try to capture that a little better as for the convention as a whole, right? Like the core is good. The core is still there. It's good. And people want to come there and they want to play games. So
which I think I mean, if what's the best way to sell games is to teach somebody how to play a game and then they have a great time and then they want to take it home with them. So, you know, I saw, you know, there were some of the best booths, the most lively people were the ones that were playing these playthroughs and getting people there, you know, and I think it's a great model for some of these people to take on. I'm sure they'll sell some more product. It may take a few more volunteers, it may take a few more little things, but you know, there's something to be said about just sitting down and playing it, because there's lots of things that I wanted to buy after I played it. You know, that's how I play.
Well, and I think that's what was really smart about what Travis did with Queen and now with Eagle Griffin, right? And what you guys did last year with Mayfair. Like it's basically you have your booths and the demo space right there. Like maybe that's the key. Maybe that's what they should turn most of the rest of the hall into, right? Like, I mean, they've got the space.
Like, if I was still working at Mayfair, they 100% would have gone back. Not because it was the best show or the most, you know, profitable selling show. It was because you would fill every single table with demos in it. That's the goal of the game company. And when I was running it for them, that was the goal. It wasn't to sell product. It was to get people to play it and talk about it, and maybe, you know, buy it or take it back to their local place, get some press, that kind of stuff. And we always used Origins as your tune-up. That's where I'm going to bring my crew in. We're going to get our sharp skills. We're going to get our demo on, because it's a skill. If you're only going to be demoing once a year at Gen Con, you're going to be rusty. Yeah. And let's face it, Gen Con's the Super Bowl. And I got to be ready when you're in a booth, right? And I mean, I'm pretty stoked. I get to go work in a booth this Gen Con. I'm a booth babe, y'all. It's going to be. So if you want to come see me at Gen Con, I'll be in the Mayfair Games booth demoing games. So seriously,
I'm gonna have a gaming trend bikini made for you so that you can actually be a booth babe.
Booth baby.
My mom does crochet, and she crocheted me and my nephew matching thongs once. Maybe I'll rock that.
I'm just saying, we get 5 months out of a 12-month calendar right here on this podcast right there.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
Men of gaming trend.
Now think about this. You get this whole crew together and we all go to a show with all this perspective. You can't miss this. So what I'm telling you all right now, you do not want to miss the Throwdown post Gen Con. It's coming in a month.
Yeah.
And we're going to light this baby up. It's going to be great. You're going to get 5 points of view. But like, you're going to hear my dumbass be all critical of other people. You're going to hear Mark talking about back in my preview days. You're going to hear Mike Dunn, the great Mike Dunn, philosophize the literary bountiful things that'll happen at Gen Con. And then you're going to get real actual dirt in the weeds, Mark and Dan, real content. You know, those guys actually play games.
If only Mark and Dan were actually going to Gen Con this year.
Gen Con.
Oh,
You know, while we're ripping on conventions, let me talk about Gen Con.
Yeah, the real jobs that I have to, you know.
Yeah, right.
I was all on board to come to Gen Con this year.
I would have loved for them to go.
I was denied a badge because Gaming Trend is just such an amazing place. We have so many amazing volunteers, and they capped us at 4 badges. So
too many badges. Yeah. Well, I say we got to fix that. 2028, let's make sure we get like 20 Gaming Trend badges and we get everybody out there talking.
So full disclosure, I think it was like 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago? We actually got 10 badges out of Gen Con. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
Your press, Michael. Press.
I'm not going to get into it, but it's been a thing. Okay. I'm just not going to get into it. It's been a thing. I would like to see the badging process at Gen Con changed in a way that respects everyone involved. And I will leave it at that. I will leave it at that. Yes.
Badges? We
didn't know stinking badges.
See, because there's one thing that Origins at least gets right. If you exceed your maximum allotment of 2 badges, if you're a GAMA member, they let you purchase additional media badges if you want.
Makes sense.
Right. And like I don't see why certain conventions can't do the same thing. It seems like a no-brainer. But no, it isn't. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Sorry.
You know what? I mean, that might be a blessing in disguise. Right?
You're about to get a message from Andy saying, I just got my badge revoked, you know.
So, all right, our away team at Gen Con this year is going to be me. I'm actually going to be going. We've got Andy Giovanni, we've got Nick Dubbs, and we've got Mark Streed, and as well as Eric Deutsch. So, yes, that's 5 people. I'm not going to say how we made that happen, but that is technically our away team.
Are we going to do a on the site episode, maybe? What do you think about?
I'm down to try. I'm down to try. We'll have the equipment.
Have a space to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We got a space, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
We got a space.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. When we going to Spiel,
When are we going to Spiel? Yeah, that's a great question.
Good on that train. You can take us.
28, 27. What do you think? Spiel 28? What's a goal? Come on, let's set it.
I mean, I'd like to do 27, but it's definitely not happening at 26.
Yeah, no doubt.
27, 28, 6, 7, 8. See
20,
which way it goes.
Yeah, 28. Well, I mean, in 28, we might actually like. When is it? What time of year? What is it in October?
No, October. That'd be 2
That's
years
gonna
of
be
tabletop.
it's going to be a weird time in 28, October 28.
Well, then we'll just go and stay. What are you talking about?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I stay
Might
here,
go to
please?
visit.
If
You
it-
might go to visit and never come
If
back.
I'm
I'll
picking
play
up what
your
you're dropping,
games.
we'll just go and stay. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go and stay.
And then season 4 of Tabletop Throwdown abroad.
And Deutsch. Everybody start learning your German now, so
Yeah.
it's good.
All you need is ein Pills, and you're good.
No. This is the one I've got.
WC.
Ich,
That'll work too.
ich verstehe nicht. That means I don't understand.
Understand.
No, then not.
I also know Du bist ein Scheissekopf, which is
Scheisse.
you are a shithead.
My gosh.
Between those two, I think I'm covered.
You got it all.
All my German friends are disowning me
It's
right
true.
now.
It's true.
Full disclosure,
Sorry, Wolf.
my
better.
grandfather was from Germany. I am like very German myself. I just don't remember. I actually lived in West Berlin for 3 years. So
Dude,
yeah, I don't remember.
For all you
much of
young
the
listeners
German I
out there,
learned
that was
from-
during the Cold War.
Yes.
Berlin.
Bang with
Two sets.
Two sets.
For all you Twilight Struggle players out there.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd like to thank everybody for joining tonight. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Dan. It's been a while. It's good to see your faces on the little screens again.
Yeah.
And we'll have to do this again sometime.
Definitely. Absolutely.
It was fun.
And yeah, it's we've got a lot of great guests that we've been talking to for the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll actually make it happen. So
You know what we didn't do for Mark and Dan?
yes. All right, queued up.
You boy-
This
Come
is
on.
good. These are no, they're both excellent people to ask this question.
Theatrical releases only. Best to worst Star Wars.
Top 3.
Dan, top 3.
Top 3 Star Wars movies, theatrical
Yes.
releases only.
Boom.
So my top is probably going to be Empire.
Number 1. Oh,
I mean, it's great. I'm going to say probably number 2, just because of the nostalgia when I watched it, was Jedi, just because I liked the Ewoks when I was a kid. But I'm going to say Rogue One is up there as one of the best ones that I've seen. I just loved the pace of it, and it was probably my favorite Star Wars movie, at least in the last 10, 15 years. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So 4, 5, and Rogue One.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah,
Like it.
those are all solid choices.
Mark, what do you got?
I'm gonna copy you with Empire. It's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Number
Unlike you didn't
Because
pick
you're
Empire.
a real
Not.
Star Wars fan, Mark.
yeah. It's just
We're not
it's the best.
gatekeeping or
The
anything.
best. Second, I'm gonna say Attack of the Clones because I was a kid and that was just awesome in the
Wow.
theaters.
That's awesome.
Hey,
Yeah,
hot take.
I mean,
I'm at
that
the
movie has
age
some
where I
great
was
battle
prime
Yeah.
age to go see that in the theater and it just be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was a cool theatrical moment.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Number 3, no,
Ooh,
that's
he's got to think.
I kind of want to say Phantom
Clone
Menace.
Wars, the
to do another
animated
hot
movie.
take because I love Darth Maul. I love Darth Maul.
Darth Maul
I mean,
was
that-
underused in the
duel-
live
that was-
action.
That was the highlight for sure.
The Duel of Fates is just it makes the whole movie.
Well, and the
Five?
pod racing scene was pretty sweet too. I'm not
Pod
gonna lie.
racing, yeah, dude, you're selling it for me. It's a good movie.
I would not have had that on my Kelsey Beck cart 521, but hey, I'm here for it. And I love that every generation of Star Wars fans grew up with their Star Wars movies, right? So if your first Star Wars movies is Attack the Clones, of course it's going to hit hard for you, right? It's just, that's cool.
Well, and you didn't let me, because you said theatrical releases only, that disqualified the Ewoks Adventure Caravan of Courage.
Oh no!
Which I had those taped off of the TV with like the commercial
Boy.
breaks, and you had to play. But that's how I watched them as a child. So those were some of my earliest Star
Wow.
Wars memories. So the two.
Yeah, that's how I had Holiday Special.
Yeah.
Was off the VHS
Yeah.
tape, and it was awful.
Oh, I rewatched them
And,
recently, and they were not good. They did not hold up. But
Yeah, no.
I have
Literally.
the memories in my brain. So
Exactly.
I remember actively hating those as a child.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I mean,
You will not-
nothing personal, Dan. Just
no, it's okay. It's okay.
it's my
I've grown
my
up.
own truth.
I've
And,
grown up.
you
You
know,
get the full yuck nub. You get it all.
for the
Mhm.
next
You know, yeah.
for the next generation, they're only going to be able to name one movie, because if The
Yeah.
Force Awakens is the first one they watch, they won't watch any of the others.
Oh, it's so true. After that trilogy, there's only one.
I mean,
That's fair.
I liked Last Jedi more than most. There were some things about it
Somehow.
I liked.
Somehow.
But there's
You return
moments in every movie.
But
But
Rise
as a
of
whole,
Skywalker, except for Rise of Skywalker, there's no moments in that. There's nothing of worth in that film at all.
The scene where
Yeah, it's not-
Palpatine force lightnings the entire sky is pretty cool.
yeah.
There's got to be one.
And all of the ships coming up in space, like the space battle with all the fun ships and the Star Destroyers. That's a cool scene.
Seems-
Or the ghost
Yeah.
kind of dipping around for an Easter egg. That was cool.
I will say this: I just started rewatching Ahsoka season 1, and I think it holds up. Like I think it's one of the better series that Disney's done.
Well,
You know, of course, Andor
I loved
being-
Rebels, and so
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Rebels.
I know there was probably less like angst online around it than say Acolyte or some of the other ones, but I think Ahsoka is pretty good. I'm the reason why I'm rewatching is because they just announced some like stills from like season 2, and I was like, ooh, and I think it kind of continues the redemption arc of some of what was happening in the prequels, which I think
For sure.
Dave Filoni has done an excellent job with over
Where do you
Yeah.
where do
the
you rank
animated series.
where do you rank The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Ugh.
That good, huh?
Middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. It would have been better if it tied some of the new stuff together, but I understand what they did. And if you really look at it, it's a bookend.
Totally
Because if the Clone Wars movie is the start of it, Mandalorian and Grogu is the end of it. Of the Clone Wars era.
mhm.
I don't like that. That's a disappointing ending.
Yeah.
It's true though.
But it's true, right? I mean, it starts with young Rada and going through that early generation of Skywalkers and Ahsokas. You go through all the Clone Wars, all the movies, all the years of whatever, and it ends with, grown Rada, and it ties in brilliantly with Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc pit and taking over as the crime lord of Tatooine, and it just all ends. Like Mandalorian Grogu puts it all in a nice little bow. And now the future will be from that movie onward.
Mhm.
And the problem is, we all wanted a Marvel end credit scene or tease Ahsoka or tease something, right? And it didn't happen because it doesn't need to happen. We'll all find it on the internet, nerds. Come on.
I'm going to be honest. I think the problem was focusing on the Hutts. Like that was just like that didn't work in the Clone Wars cartoon. Like I don't know why they thought it would work in the movie. Like having a buff, muscle-bound Hutt, just like
Well, but also, why do the Hutts speak English? Like, I wanted solo.
Yeah.
I wanted that. I didn't want, hey, how's it going, fellas?
yeah.
I didn't
You can't
that from my
expect
Hutts.
people to read in theaters nowadays.
But why not? Reading is a lost art. We need people to read. Otherwise, they're not going to read your guys' reviews on Gaming Trend website right now. Click like and subscribe. Check
This is a
that
whole
out.
new episode that we're gonna go into. It's just
Right. So all right. You know what? Let's go ahead and that's a good sign to stop there.
Yep.
Check out our Star
I'd like
Wars
to
podcast. It's
I'd like to. Hey, we've done this. We've actually asked this question of all of our guests. So this season, so it fits.
Yeah.
Indulge
We used to
us.
have one.
Indulge us.
Cancel.
It's not like
great.
it's not like most people are even watching this far anyway, right?
That's
right.
It could
Alright.
be. It could be. This is
We already saw that first like and subscribe about 40 minutes into the thing. They already bookmarked that and closed this shit down. Come on.
So if you have
For an
made it this
hour.
far, I apologize for
Thanks,
what I
Bob.
just said, and please encourage others to like and subscribe.
Yes.
If you don't like and subscribe yourself, well then I don't know what to say. But we will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to try to get back on schedule, and we will have a... you know what? I'm going to announce our guest on the channel when we find out who we actually get lined up. But we have a handful of folks that we've talked to. They're all excited to join us. We're excited to have them on, and I think it's going to be fun. So definitely check that out. The next time Gaming Trend will be at a convention will be July to August at Gen Con in Indianapolis. If you see us there wearing our Gaming Trend t-shirts, I'd like to apologize in advance because we're going to be hustling and busy, and we probably wish we had more time to talk to you. But it's worth a try anyway.
Yes.
So, but yeah, definitely keep on watching, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, guys. Like what you just watched? Not only can you find more great videos here on our YouTube channel, you should go check out GamingTrend.com, the longest running independent game and gaming culture site on the web. From the table to the screen and everything in between, at Gaming Trend we cover video games and tabletop games, tech and gear like 3D printers, and even film, television, and comic books.
You'll find the latest news, reviews, and previews alongside our in-depth editorials, weekly newsletters, and the latest season of our tabletop podcast, Tabletop Throwdown.
Also, importantly, Gaming Trend is by humans for humans. No AI is used to generate our content, and we try not to platform products that use what we consider to be exploitative technologies.
So yeah, definitely like and subscribe here, but also go check out GamingTrend.com. We do a lot more than just videos.